Have you ever been so sure of a memory that you'd bet your favorite pair of lucky socks on it? Well, prepare to have your metaphorical socks knocked off, because we're about to unravel the great illusion of our supposedly infallible minds. Picture this: you're regaling your friends with a story from your past, describing every detail down to the color of your shoelaces. You're so confident, you could swear on a stack of neuroscience textbooks that it happened exactly as you remember. But what if I told you that your brain might be pulling the wool over your own eyes? And here's a question to ponder as we dive deeper. What if I told you that the more confident you are about a memory, the more likely it is to be wrong? Stick around, because the answer might shock you more than finding out your favorite childhood cartoon was actually a fever dream. Let's start with a bang, or should I say, a flash. We're talking about flashbulb memories, those vivid mental snapshots of significant moments in our lives. You know, like the time you found out your crush actually knew you existed, or when you realized adulting meant eating ice cream for dinner without consequences. These memories feel as crisp and clear as a 4K Ultra HD video, right? Wrong! Plot twist: your brain might be the world's most confident con artist, and you're its unwitting mark. Now, before you start feeling too smug about your superhuman memory skills, let me introduce you to a little event that shook the world: September 11th, 2001. If there was ever a day etched into the collective memory of a nation, this would be it. It was like the entire United States got a surprise pop quiz in geopolitics, and nobody studied. But here's the million-dollar question: how accurately do we really remember such a monumental event? The answer might make you question everything you think you know about your own mind. Are you ready to have your mental world turned upside down? Imagine you're the big cheese, the top dog, the head honcho of the most powerful nation on Earth. You're used to giving out the metaphorical head slaps, not receiving them. Then suddenly, bam! 4 planes, 2 towers, and the world as you knew it comes crashing down. Talk about a wake-up call that puts your Monday morning alarm to shame. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Picture this: amidst the chaos, the tragedy, the raw emotion of that day, a group of scientists decided it was the perfect time for a little memory experiment. Talk about reading the room, right? They called it the Manhattan Memory Project, which sounds like a superhero origin story but is actually a fascinating dive into the quirks of human recall. These intrepid researchers hit the streets, interviewing over 3,000 people about their experiences on that fateful day. Fast forward 1 year, and they're back, asking the same questions to the same people. Now, if our memories were as reliable as we think they are, this should be a cinch, right? Wrong again! Prepare for your jaw to drop faster than a skydiver without a parachute. A whopping 40% of what people recalled just 1 year later was different from their initial accounts. That's right, almost half of their memories had shape-shifted faster than a chameleon at a disco. But wait, there's more! 3 years after the event, that number jumps to 50%. Half of what people remembered about one of the most significant days in recent history was now different. It's like playing a game of telephone, but the only player is your own brain. Now, you might be thinking, sure, but that's just average Joe Public. Surely the cream of the intellectual crop would fare better? Well, hold on to your mortarboards, because we're about to take a trip to the hallowed halls of Duke University. And let me tell you, what happened there will make your synapses sizzle. Picture this: it's September 12th, 2001. The world is still reeling from the events of the previous day. While most people are glued to their TVs, one Duke professor is cooking up an experiment that would make even the most daring researchers raise an eyebrow. This academic mastermind, probably wearing a tweed jacket with elbow patches, spent the day furiously scribbling questions while the world outside was in turmoil. Her mission? To conduct a memory experiment that would make the Manhattan Memory Project look like child's play. But here's the kicker: unlike the Manhattan Project, this experiment was designed to compare the recall of ordinary events with emotionally charged, significant ones. It's like comparing your memory of what you had for breakfast on a random Tuesday to the time you won the lottery, if the lottery was actually a terrible tragedy. The subjects? 54 of Duke's finest students. Now, these aren't your average Joe college kids. These are the creme de la creme, the intellectual titans who could probably calculate the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow while juggling flaming textbooks. The acceptance rate at Duke is lower than the chances of you remembering what you had for breakfast last Tuesday. We're talking cream of the crop here, folks. The twist? They were asked about September 11th and the day before. That's right, folks, a head-to-head showdown between the most shocking day in recent American history and, well, Monday. But here's where it gets juicy. The professor didn't just ask once. Oh no, she went full Inception on these poor unsuspecting geniuses. Picture the scene. These brilliant minds, their brains probably visible through their skulls from all that thinking, are grilled not just once, not twice, but multiple times over the course of months. It's like the academic version of Groundhog Day, but with more PTSD and less Bill Murray. Now, brace yourselves for the plot twist that'll make M. Night Shyamalan jealous. When the results came in, they were more shocking than finding out your cat has been secretly writing your term papers. Both types of memories, the earth-shattering and the mundane, started to fade over time. I know, shocking, right? But wait, there's more! The researchers, being the graph-loving nerds they are, plotted these results on a chart. Picture two lines doing the limbo, slowly dipping down as time passes. But here's where it gets wild. There's a third line on this graph, and it's going in the complete opposite direction. This rogue line represents the students' confidence in their memories. For the ordinary day before September 11th, their confidence dropped faster than a lead balloon. Yeah, I don't really remember what I had for lunch that day, they'd say, shrugging their shoulders. But for September 11th, their confidence skyrocketed. The more time passed, the more sure they were about their memories of that day. It's like their brains were saying, "Trust me, I've got this," while simultaneously rewriting history. So there you have it, folks. Not only were these walking encyclopedias, these human supercomputers, well, you get the idea. Not only were they misremembering things, but they were getting more confident about their faulty memories as time went on. It's like watching someone strut confidently off a cliff, impressive, but ultimately misguided. This experiment didn't just confirm what the Manhattan Memory Project found, it took it to a whole new level. It showed us that even when comparing a world-changing event to an ordinary day, our brains still play fast and loose with the facts. And to add insult to injury, they have the audacity to make us feel more confident about it. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth does our brain pull off this grand illusion? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to take a roller coaster ride through the theme park of your mind. You see, our brain isn't a perfect recording device. It's more like a storyteller with a flair for the dramatic and a loose relationship with the truth. When we experience something, our brain doesn't store every single detail. Instead, it creates a basic structure of the event. Think of it as the skeleton of the memory. But here's where it gets wild. When we try to recall that memory, our brain doesn't just replay that skeleton. Oh no, it gets creative. It starts filling in the gaps with details that seem plausible, given the context. It's like your brain is playing a high-stakes game of Mad Libs with your past. So, what's the takeaway from this neurological nightmare? Our memories aren't the faithful record keepers we thought they were. They're more like that one friend who always embellishes stories at parties, entertaining, but not entirely trustworthy. Next time you're absolutely, positively, 110% sure about a memory, remember this episode. Your brain might just be serving you a cocktail of fact and fiction, shaken, stirred, and garnished with a sprig of overconfidence. But don't despair, memory mavericks. This is just the beginning of our journey into the labyrinth of the mind. Stay tuned, because in our next episode, we'll be diving even deeper into the mysteries of memory. Will we uncover more surprises? Will your brain ever be the same? There's only one way to find out. And now, dear viewers, you're probably thinking, of course I smashed that like button and subscribed. You can almost see yourself doing it, right? Hold your horses! Is that a real memory? Or is your brain pulling a Duke University on you? There's only one way to find out. Go check that subscribe button. And don't forget to check our sources below. Unlike our memories, those links should stay put. This is SuperNerd, and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes.